So what's funny is this simple file renamer. It's from the MRS multi-rename script. I think it was what it was initially called. It was a V1 script,
Yeah,
and I
I
noticed,
remember that.
and I think it's because I changed the default version of when I switched to V2. My both of my versions for default were like 64-bit or something. I couldn't even launch the V1 version of this tool anymore, and when I hit apply, it didn't work. And I said, "That's weird. Let me see if AI can fix it." I had forgotten the original one was a V1 script, right? So AI said, "Well, hey, I see this is a V1 script. I know you prefer V2. Let me rewrite it for you." And and Isaias knows the original script is really complicated. This is why
Yeah, it has so many,
we
a
left it
lot of things.
V1 because it was so complicated. And we're like, whatever, it works. Well, it rewrote it. And now there's a folder under this with example files. If you want to drag them in there, you can play with them.
Oh, well, hold on. Give me just a second here. Let me just remove this part. Sorry, so let me drag these guys instead.
Yeah.
Can I clear?
And notice the undo button is grayed out. So we didn't even have the undo functionality working, and I told it to, hey, why don't you implement that? And so
Yeah,
it
that's a great little thing. So let me just say, what I think is happening then is it would create an array, and for every action that you perform, it's going to push it into the array. And when you hit undo, it would pop out the last action and put it back in. That's what I mean. I would like to see that functionality. I think that's what it would try and do.
let's just demo it first, then you can go.
Right. Yeah, let me look at it. So what do we want to do? So, well, instead of my document, let's call anything that is my document. We're gonna call it first file.
Well, that's the search.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. Oh, you see the control backspace, we have to add it. And
Well,
actually,
what's funny,
you should put, yeah, go ahead.
well, that's built in. I have that in a running script. That's why I didn't notice that. Is remember
Yeah.
we that tool that does
You have a script that does that. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember that
yeah,
now.
that's
Right.
funny.
But basically, you should have your AI trained to just whenever it has that, just put that
That's a
section
great
there.
one to add to it. That is a good one.
Yeah, it is just like we're gonna need that everywhere.
Oh.
Okay, so the search here would be my document and a dash. And notice how all of the other ones kind of like got updated on the right side right away. That's great. It's just like the visual feedback is so cool.
Yeah.
Then the replacement would be first file. And we're going to have that. There we go. And we could actually have regular expressions. So at this point, I could have, let me see, anything document.
And put parens around the your anything and move it to the back. So capture that sub pattern at the beginning, yeah, and then move that to the end of the file name.
Two, I guess. No,
that's your first one.
It's not. I thought that it is. Maybe he has it in a different way. It has to be one. Sorry. But everything I want. Oh, the document is not being taken. So let's add the document here into here. There we go. Now it could be this, or it could be a period. So now we have a different thing here. My document, there's a space in there which I don't want.
It's interesting. Look at the status bar in the bottom right. I'm not sure what that's alluding to.
Unmatched parentheses. Oh, that's interesting. And a parenthesis is being added to this search. I don't know where, but whoever that is. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. In any case, many of them do work. All right. Now the word copy, do I need it? I don't need it. But you can see that it is already replacing almost everything, which is great. Title case. Oh, that's cool.
But my real point of this was like AI has really come a long way. It's because this was a complicated, very complicated script, and yeah, perfect. I think
I
is it
just applied that. Okay, let me see. So now that we applied it, I see that all the files are done, right? The ones that I saw that were going to be updated. But I can now undo that. Okay.
right.
That's interesting. I'm very curious. Yeah, look at that. So what I need to save for the undo is what the original name was and what the current name is. So then I would just I will do the same operation of moving, but from the old one to the new one. That's it. And I can see that the undo is actually working. I like that. Now, I thought that the undo would be, now this is interesting. Once you hit undo, the button should be disabled again, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, right.
Because I don't know what is going to happen when I click undo again. That would be undefined right now. But this is looking good. Few interesting things. And this was AI. Like he grabbed V1 and said, let's do V2 out of it. And it's working.
Said that, not me.
Yeah, exactly. It said that. Yeah, this is a great little tool. And again, the search and replace. I don't know if you guys have seen like the Power, how was it called? Power Toys has its own little version of that. And even though it is powerful and everything, I still don't like it. I don't know what it has. I don't know what it is. These Power Toys, let me see, power rename. This tool, I had it on for a long time. So you can select a few files. Let me see, you select a few files and you can do this rename with power rename. And still, I don't know how it is, but this is not something that I use very often. Again, just the fact that the one that Joe showed, it allows you to undo. Just because of that one button, it is better than this one. Again, it does more or less the similar thing. So it is my document, right? And it will tell you how it will show you how it looks when it is renamed. But I don't think I can do what you just showed, like capture one part and put it at the end. I could use the regular expression, copy this. I don't know. I've never tried this. Replace with first file. And then, let me see. Two. Yeah. I don't think you can do that.
The back, do that, not do it? The /2 maybe instead? Some of them, sometimes they're like that.
No, yeah, it's not that easy, right? No, because even though they say that they're using regular expressions, that doesn't mean that they're using an engine that allows you to do that, or they're using an engine that is strange when it does that, right? Like it has some weird thing. But the point is, as you can see, yours, the one that we created with AI, is way better than that one. Like, and Power Toys is a huge program. It's like 800 megabytes, 600 megabytes. It's just like what I stopped using it. I still don't like it. Even this one is better for that. Just so you know.
Is it changing the file names in?
I cannot really understand you. Your microphone is either too far away or too low.
Okay, is it all right now?
It's better.
That's better.
Okay. Does it change the file names in one directory or in all subdirectories?
It's just, I didn't try to do recursiveness.
Okay. So the tool itself right now is not doing, well, we don't know if it does it. And I think, Joe, when you drag and drop the file is where we need to do the looping with
Yeah,
recursiveness
the
on.
first thing I would do is just try to drag a folder onto it and see what it does. It
Okay,
should
sure.
list the files under it if it'll handle it.
No, what it did is it actually grabbed the folder itself, because the first thing I did by mistake
Okay.
was dragging the folder like this,
Yeah,
and
okay.
it just showed itself. Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. It is a very simple fix, because if there is a loop files, right, I can just add the R option to it, and it would be recursive automatically. I don't have to do anything. So we can take a look at the code very quickly. Just
Yeah, but we also might do things like add create a more of a either a tree. No, I guess we could do a list view, but add an icon that shows you conflicting names. So if you do some sort of regex that actually will run into there's conflicting names, you'd want to know that ahead of time, right? Like we should see
yeah,
that.
sure. That's right. So here's where the thing is happening. So whenever you drop files, you will get a file array, and the file array is going to give you kind of like a path. That's what we're getting right here. Now, this path, what I can say is, if so let me see, file exists, or yeah, file exists, file path contains the letter D, which means it is a directory, then loop files, file path, and then recursive, right? So I'm going to say loop in here for anything, and then do files, directories, and recursive, and then just add them. Probably that would fix it. And we should do this path right here as well. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even have to check whether that is a directory or not. I can do a loop files with whatever you gave me and try and do this. But the point is, this asterisk here is going to break it if it is a file. So now
Yeah.
else here, because it's one or the other, I usually like the smallest one above. So if it is not a directory, we're going to do that. I'm going to do this part. You see, that's the reason why I don't like this way of writing I like the almond style because it helps me move code around very easily. If you do the brackets at the end, like it's so hard to move code around. Here, I just say, hey, this one I want it at the bottom, and this one I want it at the top. Like I just flip it. It's very easy. But if you do the other one, yeah, you have to move the brackets first and then do the thing. So if it is not a directory, right? So this is what it's saying. If it is not a directory, then go ahead and add it into the list view. Now, if it is a directory, then loop through the files inside that directory recursively, and then go ahead and add each of those files in here. That's it. Now, the interesting part about this is that if I'm looping the files, this should be a loop file full path. That's what happens. And that's the file name. And we're adding, of course, the full path right here. There it goes. So that should already do what I want, which is that I'm going to run it. And if I decide to drop a folder, it should drop the files instead. So, and if I have a folder inside that folder, it would actually go there and put it in there as well. So this is kind of working as intended now.
Well, yeah, but honestly, I wouldn't. This is the simple renamer script, right? I'm not saying we
right.
My point is, we should have an option that says recursion or not, right? Because
that could be an option.
People may not understand what they're doing and accidentally do stuff that But yeah,
then I can. Cool. Yes. So here I would say, If it is not a directory, do what it is. Else, if recurs enabled, right? Then do what I said, right? Now, let me see something. Or not recurse enabled, right? This might be an option in the GUI itself. Let's have it in first as a variable false, and let's test it. So right now the recurse is not enabled. So when I drag and drop this, it just drags the file. But if it is enabled here, true.
What I love about it is what Isaias is just showing you here is he's separated the functionality with the GUI part of it of actually doing it, right? So he's very quickly testing, does it do what I want? After that, he'll connect it to some sort of a GUI element.
Now I will have a checkbox that says recurse or something, right? And you see how we have the regular expression here? Yeah, we're going to have another one here saying recurse.
Yep.
Now that enabled here is going to be captured by this other thing, recurse, right? And I will name it.
That's where you say shit. It's
yeah, exactly. Recurse, and this let's say it's going to be just below the previous one. You see, so now all of the X and Y locations of this thing have been hard coded. Yeah. That's going to create a little bit of an issue for me later. Sure. But I can just say, let me see if I can fix that real quick. But when I recurse, I check this, and then it says check recursive, let's say. On event, what I want to do here is just very simple. I just want to change a variable. See, that's where having the idea of being able to define the function right here helps a lot, because now I can make that variable global, right? I can make that variable global. That's the one that I want. And now I'm going to have in here the value of the current control. So whenever you have a click control, you have the control, if I remember right, and then the value, if I remember right. So let's look at the click event. Click event, it has the object and the info. The info, I think, is none. It will not have anything that I care about, so I'll have control.value here. And that would make control enable the same as my controlled value. This is great for 2.1. I cannot do that in 2.0. If I switch this to 2.0, which is the current stable version, I cannot do that. So what is going to happen is I have to do a fat arrow function, but even there, I cannot use a fat arrow because I cannot use the global keyword then. I think I can. Hold on. You know what? I think I can. Because I can do the global keyword and at the same time assign the value. Oh, no, I can't. You see? Because this is a return keyword, I cannot do that. So now I'm completely forced to have a function here, set recurs, and I have to, you see, that's the part that I don't like. When I'm forced to code in any certain way, I don't like it. Because what if I don't want to do that, right? But in this case, I must do it this way. And now I have to put this function right here. That's how you would have to do it in V2.0, which I don't have to do that in 2.1. I just define the function right there. Now let's test this. Let's see if this does what I want. And basically, let's recurse is false. Oh, you see, I fixed the thing that actually went to the top there. So recurse is not on, so I can do this. Oh, it still did the recursiveness. Why? Let me see. Recursive. Oh, because I have it true here. So we start with it.
That's funny.
That's false.
Hilarious.
Yeah, of course. The recursiveness here, we can start it with checked 0, maybe false or whatever. I think if you don't have it, and actually if we save that into an ini file, I would read it from the ini file. That's okay. So this would actually be read from the ini file here. See? Yeah, that would be read from an ini file, wherever I have that. But I'm going to start with it being false, and my GUI is going to start with it false. And now that means if I drag and drop, it is false. But if I set the recursiveness now, this would do the recursiveness. So now I have control over whether to recurse when I drag and drop files or not. I don't like the placement of that. That should be in somewhere else. I don't know, because this has to do with the search and replace. So the recursiveness, I don't know if it has anything to do with that. I would put it, I don't know, at the end or whatever. I don't know. But as you can see, I just added the functionality of recursing within a given folder in several steps. I had to first actually add the functionality, which is this part. Second of all, add if statements that follow certain patterns. And then add a variable that is going to contain the option, whatever option I want. And then that variable, I tie it to my GUI to make sure that I can actually change the options. I think we actually ran over a few minutes here, but let's go ahead.
Alternatively, you could have just fed it back to AI and said, make that recursive. But I know we're here to learn how to program, right? It's not but me, I'm like, yeah, duh. Although I do agree, Isaias, also, I think our recursion and regex thing should be saved in any file, because most people probably want the last thing they used on those things.
Exactly, that's what I said. So basically, all of those options, if they are somewhere, right? I don't know if the regular expression is somewhere there. I don't know what there is.
I don't think it has an any file at the moment. So
okay, all right. But the point was, I was looking at what is it that is changing.
Okay,
but I don't see it here. But anyways, in any case, yes, those options should be kind of like saved somewhere. And if they are, then here we're gonna add some ini read to know what the latest value was.
You know, and it's a delicate balancing. Some things you want to make it saved, and some you don't. You want them to force them to do it each time, right? And it's hard to know what most people want for each thing.
The search itself, like that, is something that I don't want saved.
Well,
the replacement.
But you might want past searches and past replacement tracked. So like a combo box.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, a combo box instead of an edit. Yes. That's interesting. Yeah.
Let's stop the video here and stop in this topic, which